What's going on, Codex fam? Welcome to another comic character of the week. As always, I am your host, Jamie, also known as J-Dub. With me, as always, is the slab guy slash Barry Sal Rowe. How are we doing, buddy?
Doing good, bud. How you doing? Hey, you want to check out my channel? You got to go to YouTube and check out Sal's Comic Corner. You can also see my stuff on Instagram under the Slab Guy 77.
Yeah,
And then we
definitely
got this
check out
guy
everything.
down here.
Hi, you can find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. Search hashtag Dan Kelly Art. I put stuff up there like 3-4 days a week, and I just hit 500 subscribers. Been in contact with the person that got randomly selected to get a free commission, and I will be posting the pencils for that I did tomorrow. So go check it out. And when I hit 600, I will do another promotion.
Can you say who it is?
Yeah, what'd you draw? What are you drawing?
See, you guys.
You don't have to show. You could just tell us.
No, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name. It's not a person. It was like it's this Elmonix official. It's a next gen digital and physical collections thing from England.
What do they request? What do they request?
They honestly requested me just to draw their logo, but their logo it's just an X in a white circle. It looks like the new X from like the new X-Men logo. And then I said, well, do you want me to just like do that or incorporate it into a character? And they said, okay. So I just kind of incorporated into a superhero kind of design. So I'll be posting that tomorrow, so go check it out. But enough about me. There's this interesting guy right over here. That's
God, if there was a Dos Equis right now, I'd throw it at him.
Hey guys, I created a group over on Facebook and on Instagram called Comic Character of the Day. Thank you very much, Dan, where we post a different character, something funny, cover, anything news related, and a question regarding anything about this geekery that we all know and love called comic book collecting. We are so close to 500 members, and when we get to that number, we're going to be doing a giveaway. And all of these cool dudes over here have said that they throw in something into that mix too. So very excited for whoever wins this. All I need from you is to help me get to that number, and you'll be getting some cool swag from all of us. So look forward to getting to that for you guys. Come and check us out.
As far as the question goes, has anybody noticed a theme to the question this week?
Yes, I have. It seems something reminiscent of the last.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have to come up with a different question every day. Sometimes you find a question and you're like, hey, if I just substitute a different a different thing in there for this, I can stretch one question out to 5 days.
Yep.
And you're amazing at it.
And it works. The formula works. Very cool, interesting thing that gets people involved in the conversation every day. So couldn't do it without you, Dan. That's so cool. Thank you so much for your help adminning the comic character of the day. And Sal. And Jamie's an expert. He knows his stuff.
Oh, I do? Dear God.
Well,
am I supposed to say something now? No, guys, you know about this. Yeah, I'm a group expert. I don't have to tell you anything. I know it all. But you know what I know you don't know is to go check out the codexstation.com. One-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet the team, talk to us, let us know what you like, don't like. Find all of our socials down there. All you gotta do is click the button on what social you want. Takes you right there. So there's no reason for you not to like, share, subscribe. Every like helps us grow right now with the algorithm. So hit that like button as many times as you can and tell everyone else to do it too. Even if you know a friend that's into this, shout them out to us. So definitely do that. There's so much in the works right now and then so much getting done. It is not even like I say it a lot, but right now it's just the start. And we've been doing this for 2 years now.
My golly.
can't wait to keep growing with everybody there. By the way, side tangent, I just filled my first terabyte external with all the codex stuff, so I had to go buy it.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Ooh.
you know how much I'm working on everything and saving everything. So guys, definitely help us out. We got a great community. Help us grow even further. I want to make sure we reach everybody that wants to consume this content. So thank you in advance and hit that like button. But without further ado, let's get into our comic character of the week. And this week we have Ant-Man Scott Lang. Dan, why don't you take it origin?
All right, so Scott Lang's first appearance was in March 1979 in Avengers 181, and then 1 month later in Marvel Premiere 20, April 1979, is when he became the second Ant-Man. He was created by David Michelin, Bob Layton, and John Byrne. He is an ex-con and an electrical expert that was hired by Tony Stark. And while he was installing a new security system in Avengers Mansion, he stole Hank Pym's original Ant-Man suit so he could rescue his daughter from somebody that had kidnapped her. Or not his daughter, rescue the doctor that he needed to perform a operation that would save his daughter's life from the person that had kidnapped her. And afterwards, he went to turn himself into Pym and give the suit back. And Pym said, "Oh, I was following you. I knew that you took the suit. I like how you handled it. You could keep it. You'll be the new Ant-Man," because Pym had moved on. I think he was Giant Man at the time. For his powers, he can alter his size to ant size and also to be a giant, but generally it's in the name. He goes small. And he has a cybernetic helmet that allows him to communicate with ants. And unlike other people that use the Pym particles, he is the one that has unlocked how to use them to gain super strength and basically, invulnerability no matter what size he is.
Awesome. Great origin. Now, let's get into some scenarios that do work with this character. And to start that off, Kevin, why don't you take that away for us?
All right. I think he works best when he thinks like a criminal. He has that ex-con mentality. I think like every superhero thinks like a superhero. I think he's a lot more interesting when he's like gets into the mindset of, okay, how should I do this if I wasn't thinking above board, if I was actually thinking like the people that I'm going up against. I find him a lot more interesting if he's doing that, but for the purpose of doing it for the greater good. I also think he's a lot. I think he also works best when his back is up against the wall, and he's willing to go to that next level that he wouldn't ordinarily go to if his daughter is threatened or in danger. Like he'll go that he will never fully go like anti-hero level, but he doesn't play around when his daughter is involved, and that's when he's like very, very at that point where he's operating best. I think he's awesome when he's thinking like a criminal and doing what he needs to do to protect his and his own. So that's my take on it. Sal, what do you think, bud?
Well, I kind of agree with the thinking like a criminal, but I also like two other things which I'll add here. When he goes subatomic and he's going into the microverse and he's exploring the microverse for having an adventure there, that's pretty unique for me because it almost feels like anything is game down there. Anything could happen. Usually you got the normal superhero arc. Bad guy does something, good guy goes, beats him up, and we're back in jail. That that kind of just rinse and repeat. But when he goes to the microverse, I feel like there is no limitations on to what's out there. And
That's
we saw
fair.
kind of that a little bit in the Quantum Mania movie of how crazy the microverse can be. So if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. It's a good movie to see. So go check it out. But that's what I like. And I also like him best when he's on a small person team. Like
Small person team. Let's see what you did there.
You know what? I didn't even mean to do that, but that's pun intended. All right. So, but what I mean by that is, I feel like if there's too many players, I think he kind of gets muted and pushed to a side, or he's not that well utilized. So when he's on a small person team, he's like the main character or the main protagonist type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think he works best.
That's fair.
How about you, Dan? What do you have?
I like what Kevin said, where he uses his burglary skills, because most other superheroes don't have that ex-con background that he does, so he can relate, and kind of put himself, in the mindset of the criminals that he's fighting. And I like when he uses his scientific skills, because he'll say frequently, it was like, I'm not Reed Richards, I'm not Tony Stark, but he's also not an idiot. He's good at electronics. He's, had become better at all this stuff. He ended up rebuilding and redesigning some of the Ant-Man suit, the Ant-Man helmet. He's the one that discovered how to use Pym particles in a way that even Hank Pym hadn't figured out how to use. So he's, clearly smart. And I really like when he does a lot of stuff that's, his daughter's involved. Like early on, he had to balance being a single dad with being a superhero, and she didn't know who he was. And then later on, his ex-wife comes in and sues him for custody because she's, like, oh, you're a superhero, it's not a good environment. And then so he has to balance, being a dad to her whenever he can and doing that. And then when his daughter became a superhero, I had to balance that with teaching her how to do it and teaming up with her. And you don't see that dynamic in comics very often. The a little more in comics now, but like that father-daughter duo, you don't see a lot. It's usually, even for the ones that have kids, it's usually father-son or mother-daughter. So, it's cool seeing how he has grown to where it was strictly just watching out for her and protecting her, to now like, oh, well, she's a legit superhero in her own right too, and teaming up with her and kind of letting her do her thing. So what about you, Jamie? What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree in the aspect of, I think he works best when there's a loved one involved.
Yeah.
Like if there's someone he cares about, that's when we see like that switch like hit, like, okay, I could be a funny superhero and, do my job. But as soon as one of his loved ones are in harm's way, that's a totally different Scott Lang at that point. And I think that's where he works best, is when it's that loved one in trouble, or when it's someone he cares about hero wise, or, someone that he looks up to. I think that's his bread and butter right there.
Agreed.
But guys, I do got to ask one question. Do you know what else works best?
What would that be?
Our new partner sponsor, W Energy. Guys, go check out W Energy. They have started partnering with us, and we could not be any happier with them. Definitely go check out their website if you guys get a chance. And if you use the keyword codex, that's CODE-X at checkout, you get 10% off your order. I can't wait. I already got my stuff on the way, and I know the rest of the team does too. So we're ready.
That's legit. 10%, I drink energy drinks a lot, so if I can save 10% on them, that's the amount that I drink them. That is a lot of money.
Yes.
That's awesome.
They got a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff, new flavors coming out as well. There's like 6 different pre-orders that they're doing, along with a bunch of merch too. And I love their logo and what they're doing. So guys, definitely go check them out. Give them a chance. We did, and we're loving it so far. So go check out W Energy. Don't miss out.
Don't sleep on it.
Yeah, don't sleep on it. I see what you did there, Dan. But moving on, all these every character we're kind of gone over has these great scenarios where they fit best, but they also have these badass moments in comics. And Dan, I'm gonna let you take it away this week with the top 3 badass moments of Ant-Man Scott Lang.
All right, so I've got in his solo series, Ant-Man issue 3, when he's fighting the Taskmaster, and he was actually around when on the Avengers when Taskmaster first popped up. So he was fighting him, and he punches him with a giant fist made out of ants. Like, it's ridiculous, but it's just beyond awesome too. Just when you see it in the book, Ant-Man #3, you just see this giant fist of ants come up and punch him. Like, it's great. And then a couple issues later in Ant-Man 5, the guy Darren Waller, not the tight end for the not the tight end for the Raiders, Darren Cross, kidnaps his daughter, or his son kidnaps his daughter. Is like, hey, I'm going to bring my father back, but I'm going to take her heart that's got pin particles in it and put it in his body so that he can live again, because he needs the heart. That was the whole thing about why he became Ant-Man in the first place. And his daughter ends up getting a new heart, but her body is rejecting it. And the doctor tells him, like, yeah, it's rejecting it because of this. So he shrinks down, goes into her, and is blasting the white blood cells so her body would not reject her new heart, and essentially saves her life because of that. And it's just, it's a really cool way to do his powers. And then, like Jamie said earlier, for best scenarios, like, it's when a loved one is in danger, he'll do anything for them. Right. And then the ultimate badass moment is in FF16, single-handedly beat Dr. Doom. It was one-on-one, and he told Doom, he's like, you know what, this is after Doom had murdered his daughter, and he hadn't gotten over it. And he just said, you know what, take the armor off. I won't use my powers. We'll go one-on-one. And Doom said, why would I do that? And tries to blast him, and then finds, it doesn't do anything to him. Why is that? And that's when it's revealed that he was the one that unlocked exactly how the pin particles work. That, yeah, you retain your strength when you grow small, and then you get super strong when you grow big. He's like, but he figured out, well, I can get super strength and durability and all that no matter what height I'm at, and then just beat Dr. Doom, literally ripped his armor off of him, and then just beat the brakes off of him like bad. So
awesome.
Yeah, you don't often see anybody take out Doom that way. So that's my top 3. So what do you got, Kev?
I gotta go with getting into the Avengers home and stole the technology right out of underneath their nose, put it on, and utilize the Ant-Man armor just almost instinctively. Like, he was born to wear that. Like, that was what he's meant for. Just the fact that he was able to get in there, get the thing, and utilize it so easily, I think, is my number 3. My number 2, I gotta say, screw you, Dan, for taking mine, because I also have using the helmet to control ants, to utilize a gigantic fist of ants to punch Taskmaster. I thought that was one of the coolest scenes I've seen. And number 1, taking on and holding his own against half of the Avengers team in Captain America: Civil War from 2016. The fact that he's like able to hold his own against the world's mightiest heroes is like, this guy deserves a spot on the team. Hell yes. So impressive. How about you there, Sal?
Well, I gotta say, screw you to the both of you, because you covered all 3 of the ones I had. Because I don't read a lot of anime, so I was reading some stories quickly for the show, and what I came across was those badass moments, like the giant fist of ants. You can't beat that. That's my number 1 right there. Stealing the ant suit from the Avengers while he's installing some security systems. That's a sneaky badass thing. And then, of course, beating the brakes off, like Dan said, beating the brakes off of Doom and just ripping his armor off. I mean, those are just some of the badass moments.
Hell yeah.
How about you, Jamie? What do you got?
I think we're all in agreement that making a fistful of ants is the best way to go.
Right.
But I also have the first encounter with Taskmaster, which was from Avengers 195 and 196. That fight was great. And then I have Scott joining the Fantastic Four as one of the badass moments. And that's when Richards came up to him and basically told him, like, yeah, jump in. We need you.
But not only that, at first he told him, he's like, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do this.
And then later on, he's like,
all right.
Go ahead. I'm not.
If I must.
Yeah. If I have to.
But you own me, man.
Yeah, but just you. There's no Avengers card here that you can just walk in. And what about She-Hulk? That doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
All right, but with these badass moments, we always have these criticisms on why the characters suck. So, Kevin, why don't you give us your reasoning for where Ant-Man sucks?
I'd say when they just utilize him as a straight up superhero and don't acknowledge his engineering knowledge. He's a tech dude. Between that and his ability to get inside the machine, any machine in question, firsthand, and see how things work, he should be a lot more effective even more effective than the way they portray him. Getting into tech and being able to figure it out, like firsthand, seeing how it works, that should be something that should be an absolute go-to for the character. And as far as I know, they very rarely acknowledge that. So that's why I think his biggest suck thing in the way that they write him.
All right.
Sal,
Sal, what are you thinking, buddy?
So, yeah, I kind of agree with Kevin on this one. I think they don't utilize his intelligence enough. And I just feel like it's like all of a sudden they need a smart person. And they go, oh, let's get Ant-Man. He's available. Bam. And it's like, no, that didn't really work organically for me on a lot of things. You know, he stepped in for Reed Richards on the Fantastic Four when they were missing or on vacation or something like that. So it's I don't know. It just felt like they're just like shoehorning him into being, you know, a smart person, which he is, but not building it into him being the smart person. You understand? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Okay. So, and I kind of alluded to this. The other one is the other point was large teams. If he's on a large team, I feel like he's very much muted and not utilized enough. You know, so I don't like him on large teams. What about you, Dan? What do you got?
I'm a fan of the character, but I don't like how they've written him like the past, I want to say since around 2014, 2015, like where they've written him as kind of goofy and incompetent. And, you know, you look at him for the longest time when he was introduced and he was always kind of a down on his luck guy, you know, kind of Spider-Man-esque, and, you know, nothing would seem to go his way. And he would always try hard, but, you know, he'd always, you know, he'd get the job done, but like he'd always kind of suffer in his personal life. And there's still that aspect of it, but they write him now really since he died and then they resurrected him. Really, since then, he's mostly been written as just kind of a goober. And it's, you know, he's, you know, like, oh, he's a loser and everything he tries fails. And, you know, and he's this screw up and all that. And like, you know, there's a way that you could do that, but still be true to, you know, to what the character was before and not make him, you know, the kind of this like bumbling idiot that, oh yeah, he's smart enough that he can, you know, that he can kind of fiddle with some of this tech here and there, but yeah, you know, he's still kind of a loser that nobody takes seriously. So I feel like they've done him a disservice, in fact. And, you know, some of the books he's been in with that direction are still good books, but, you know, they didn't have to do him dirty like that, I guess. So I don't know. What do you think, Jamie?
They did him dirty.
My boy wrong.
Did him dirty.
They did him dirty. No, I think this is the first time I can say this about a character. And it's not the writing aspect of who's helming Ant-Man or Scott Lang at that time. I don't even think Ant-Man knows what Ant-Man wants. Because a lot of the times if you read with solo stuff, they'll be like, oh, what have you done? He's like, well, I've just been a part of a lot of teams. And I'm pretty good at what I do. You know, there's no like, is he a solo character? Can he survive on his own more than 5 issues? Is he, you know, Avenger? Is he part of the Fantastic Four? Is he part of the all new Guardians of the Galaxy? He does like kind of like what Sal said. He gets lost in the translation when it's a bigger team. But even on the smaller teams, I feel like he's just there for filler more than he should be there for what they intend him to be.
Or what he could be.
Yeah.
And what he could be. Like, there's potential there. We see it all the time. Why can't we utilize it? Even with the character, like in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
give the guy a chance.
Give him
They're
a
doing
chance.
him dirty.
Even when his, I don't know if it was his last stint on the Avengers, but right before he died, when he was on the Avengers, because they ended the series when they, you know, when Bendis did his thing at issue 500, but he was on the team for like 20 or 30 issues, I think, give or take, before that. And if, you know, sitting back and rereading him, it's like he does stuff, but he's not, you know, it's like he's there, but outside of this kind of animosity that him and Jack of Hearts had for each other, like that was really the kind of meat of what they were doing with him then. Yeah.
I think what it is as much as I love, oh my God, the name of the actor, Paul Rudd, his take on the character as comic, you know, super, but also like comic relief. They lean into a lot in the comics, the recent phenomenon that they have in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I think a lot of the whole we don't really know what to do with the character stems from the Paul Rudd interpretation of Scott Lang in the movies. And I think you can have him comic relief, but also, you know, have him an effective character at the same time. I think there is a precarious balance to be struck between the two that can work.
Yeah. I mean, you see it with Spider-Man all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they taken him and kind of made him Spider-Man, but like taking all this, you know, a lot of the serious aspect out of it and just like, you know, the goofball kind of loser. Like, you know, I mean, at one point they had him so broke he was living in an anthill.
I mean, establish
it's a clever gag, but you know, that's all it is.
Right.
Establish that early on with the character, but after a while, with everything that Scott has done in the comics, he should be a lot more established and respected and sure of himself than they portray him currently.
Yeah, I mean, at one point in the FF series, at one point, Reed at the end of the series was saying something to him about like, oh, you know, this pin particle thing, are you going to research that more? And he goes, yeah. And he's like, well, I'd love to be your assistant for that. And he's like, you want to be my assistant? Like, you know, awesome. It shows that, you know, that's the level of respect that Reed had for him and for his, you know, and for his intelligence. And then after that series ended, it's just like, oh, look at me. I shrink as an ant. I live in a toy house.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Very cool. We get why the character does suck at times, but obviously with these comics, we get some really, really cool covers. Now, before we get into it, can anyone tell me what else is cool about saving some money on some comics that we can find these covers from?
Sound like no.
Of course I know. You want to go over to Heroscornercomics and check out their site because you could save 20% just by using the word codex at checkout. Now, on their site, you got exclusives, you got graded slabs, you got other variants, you got back issues, and the site is amazing. These are great people. They do a great service with comics, and you should definitely check them out. So go over to Heroes Corner Comics, use the word codex, CODEX, and save 20% on that order. Plus, we have a codex bundle that you can buy from them. It's $30, and you get 3 Heroes Corner comic exclusives, and you can even use the codex checkout word on that as well.
Yeah, and for those who want to see a little bit more, we got something for you.
All right, let's say.
What's up, everyone? If you're anything like me, you love comics, but you also love a good deal. And our friends over at Heroes Corner Comics have just the deal for you. From exclusives to back issues, graded slabs, current issues, and even set up a subscription with them. And all you have to do is use the keyword CODEX at checkout. That's CODEX, and you will save 20% store-wide. So don't miss out. Yeah, guys, definitely don't miss out on the deals they got and provide for you. I just got my mystery box yesterday and did an unboxing of it. So go check that out if you guys get a chance. Go check out Sales too. I mean, he goes more in depth than I do, especially with cutting everything open. But they do a fantastic job, and the amount I got for the price I paid was well over it.
I just put an order in today.
Awesome.
Nice, man. Nice. Did you use the word codex at checkout?
I'm waiting. I put the thing in for the Spider-Man. Spoiler.
Oh yeah. But you'll get the discounted. You'll get the discounted price for sure.
Right. But with that being said, let's get into some of these covers, and Sal, we're gonna kick it off with you.
Sounds good. So starting off on the left, the first one is Ant-Man and the Wasp, #1. This is just I just love this cover because it feels like they're in the microverse, and I kind of like Wasp's costume at this point. It's just pretty wicked. So I like this. I like this book, or I like this cover. Next up, I got Venomverse #1. Now this is a time frame where all the Venom symbiotes were simulating everybody, so everybody got a Venom type of symbiote, type situation. And Ant-Man symbiote, if you can see it, it's on the right leg of Venom, and it's just wicked. It looks awesome. So it's a great cover to begin with, but you could just barely see it if it's kind of blended in, but it's really cool. And now, of course, the last one, Avengers #223. Probably everyone's going to have this cover, but it's Ant-Man riding the arrow of Hawkeye. And the title here, the tagline is "Somebody's going to get it." So that itself is a badass cover.
That is.
That it is. Now we're up with Dan.
So I'll start at the right here. Like Sal said, I've got the Avengers 223. It's just a, like you said, it's one of those classic covers. It's been homaged a few times. I think they even did something in, didn't they do something in Endgame where they kind of had shooting him on an
Civil War.
Civil War.
That's what it was. Yeah. And it's just, it's just a fantastic cover. In the middle, I've got the cover for his solo series, Ant-Man issue 4. It's just, it's a ridiculous cover. It's, very reminiscent of Miami Vice, because the series is when he is having his security business when he's in Florida. And, it's the Crockett and Tubbs thing, and he's there with the suit, and the guy in the bear outfit is there, and they're leaning against the car, and it's a really cool looking cover, but it's also just ridiculous at the same time.
It's like a Crockett and Tubbs thing.
Yeah. Miami Vice and Crockett and Tubbs was a show from the 80s, boys and girls.
Yeah. Google it. And then on the end, I've got the one from his not his first appearance, but the month after, when he becomes Ant-Man for the first time, Marvel premiere issue 47. It's just that awesome cover where it's got the microscope, so you see him, at full size on the cover, but you realize, it's the microscope that's showing him and the ant. And also, this book came out the month and year that I was born, so it's always a book that is close to my heart with that as well. So those are the 3 that I've got.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Well, real quick, we got a comment on that. Loving the 80s throwback.
Nice.
So next up, we have Kev.
Yo. Let's see what I got. I don't even remember. It's been a long couple of days. Okay, so Ant-Man #1. I love the fact that they're just showing like his miniature size and standing on his Avengers ID card. I thought that was just kind of an iconic thing, and the artwork for that is really cool. The middle, I have the complete collection cover, the Astonishing Ant-Man, and have the entire basically run of his size categories. Well, not the entire run, but like they're showing him as giant, regular size, and Ant-Man, showing kind of what he's capable of. And we got the Avengers. I should see what one that is.
Complete.
I don't know what it is. There you go, complete Avengers. And it's kind of the same thing where you kind of have him full size, but you realize that it's still a magnifying glass, and he's riding a flying ant. I think it's really cool when they have them like on flying ants. They have like Wasp being able to fly under her own power, and you could probably justify Scott being able to fly under his own power too. But just having him ride ants into battle is just so cool. So the artwork on all of these shows a really cool selection of Scott, and his costume is just neat.
Yeah.
This one shows them off really, really well. So that was my theory.
Yeah, I like that middle one, Kevin. That was a good one. I almost chose that one because it's like the progression of him going from small to large or large to small,
Right.
depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it a lot.
All right. And then for mine,
Let's see.
I got one that is the same, and that is the magnifying glass.
Mhm.
I just thought that was cool. Like, it just looks like, don't squish me. No.
He's about to be shot, though.
Yeah. In the middle, we got Ant-Man as a variant edition for it, but I just think this is cool with him and Cassie on the cover. Just him and his daughter, he just like looking at her as she's taking pictures of herself and doing selfies. I thought that was just phenomenal for the day and age. And then another variant for my last one, it's a homage, Ant-Man #1. And I just love the silhouette, but the best part is he's little in the middle, so literally the shading is casting off of him, making him look big in the background.
That is very cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that.
And the middle one is very cool because it shows off Cassie's stature.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. So with that being said, obviously these covers intrigue us and make us want to read more, but there's so much more within these covers from all the great art and all the great writing. So we're going to get into some recommended reading for you guys. And I'm going to start off with Dan.
All right, so I've got Astonishing Ant-Man 1 through 13. It was his second solo series. He had Astonishing Ant-Man 1 through 5, and then there was a special, and then it went into this series. So it's him when he's in Florida. He moved there because his wife got remarried and took his daughter and moved to Florida to have a fresh start. So he moved down there. He started his security company, and it's just him trying to figure out, how to be a dad, how to be a superhero, how to have a business to make enough money. He ends up hiring all these kind of lame ex-supervillains to be his staff. And even though I said I don't like, the way that they kind of have made him this almost bumbling, incompetent kind of character, it is a lot of that in this series, but it is a well-written series. It is entertaining, and you do get to see, you do get to see a lot of cool interactions in it. In the middle there, I've got FF 1 through 16. This is when Reed has discovered, for Fantastic Four, has discovered that the radiation that gives the Fantastic Four their powers is killing them. So he, they each have to recruit someone to take their place so that he can take them, the original members, on this mission to find a cure. And it's going to be this outside of time thing. So he tells him, like, oh, you have to run the Future Foundation and kind of be the leader of this, but we're only going to be gone for 4 minutes. It'll be a year for us, but it'll only be 4 minutes for you. And then 4 minutes goes by and they don't show back up. So he has to then lead, not only this new kind of Fantastic Four team, but also the Future Foundation, with all these kids and everything that's going on, and then find a way to rescue the original Fantastic Four. And when Reed asks him to do it and asks him to join, at first he tells him no, and like Reed really has to convince him because his daughter had recently died and he was going over that. And I think the series shows really well how much he cares for other these kids and the other team members, and how he wants to do his best to protect them. And it shows that even though he's clearly competent and clearly very smart, he does have doubts about himself. And it shows really well too throughout the series how much he's dealing with the grief of losing his daughter, and him kind of wanting this revenge on Dr. Doom. And then lastly, I've got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Living Legends is a one shot, and it's him and the Wasp, Janet Van Dyne, where she gets him to go on this mission into the microverse to help these people that previously her and Hank Pym had helped. And at this point is one of the times that Hank was dead. So she gets him to go down there, and some of the story elements in this are kind of similar to some of the story elements in the new movie Quantum Mania, where they have to go down there. They have to help these people in the microverse from from someone that's going after them. And it's cool seeing him interacting with Janet, but also seeing him kind of trying to live up to the mantle of Ant-Man and trying to live up to the standard that Hank Pym had set for it. So those three I got.
All right, Kevin.
All right. Let's see. Mine is, wait for it to load up. Astonishing Ant-Man 1 through 13 from 2015. That was Scott being pushed to his limits in like his personal and professional life. And it culminates in him having to make a decision whether or not he wants to actually stand up for what he's been striving for all this time and remain a hero, or fall back into his old criminal ways to survive. So that's kind of a fun take on the character. Ant-Man and the Wasp 1 through 5 from 2018. It's a fun Marvel Cinematic Universe style romp. It's basically, if you like what you've read, or if you like the first 2 or 3 Ant-Man movies, you'll love these. And I went with Marvel Premiere number 47 through 48 from 1979. That is his first outing as Scott Lang as Ant-Man. So those 3 are really great snapshots for who the character is.
All right, Sal, getting to yours.
All right, so we got first up is the Ant-Man and the World Hive. So this is a good story because it has Cassie's just been resurrected and he's back to being a father figure, and that this is also a global conspiracy going on at the same time. But the interaction of him trying to be a father again, I think that was a good aspect of the story. So it's definitely one to check out. Next one up is Ant-Man: The Saga of Scott Lang. So this we probably touched on this already, but this collects a few issues. Let's see, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Living Legends, Ant-Man and the Wasp of 2018 1 through 5, Giant Man 1 through 3, Ant-Man 2020, 1 through 5, and the Guardians team up number 7. So, and what I want to call out in this issue is actually Scott has to battle Asgardian frost giants in this one. So this was a cool part of the story, and I think it's definitely something to check out because you don't see the Asgardian frost giants all that much, especially with battling Ant-Man. It's a great combo there.
Yeah,
so
that's the one where he teams up with the other ones, right? He teams up with was it Atlas and the new Giant Man and someone else?
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Nice.
So the last one I have is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Lost and Found. This was Ant-Man and the Wasp 2018, numbers 1 through 5, and I like this one particularly because they're going into the microverse, and every time they do, they're entering reality with new physics and new beings. So it's always fresh. It's not the same old trope, of stuff. So that's why I like this one as well. And I've got one shout out that's not mentioned on here, and that is he was actually in Armor Wars from Iron Man 225 and 232. He actually helps Tony Stark locate all the Stark armor that's been stolen to help Tony Stark track that down.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, because if you read that What If issue, the What If Iron Man lost the Armor Wars, like the key pivotal thing in the beginning of it is Ant-Man when he's like shrunk down and in this computer or something, when he gets knocked out, like and can't help Tony, that like made everything kind of tumble.
Right. Right. So that's definitely a story to check out. So I'll give it an honorable mention, even though I don't have it on here.
Nice. Good call there.
Thanks. Jamie, what you got?
All right. So mine are pretty simplistic as how I'm going to explain them. These 3 stories, I think, is where Scott Lang fits best in different categories. So we'll start off with Ant-Man and the Wasp 1 through 5. And the reason for this is if you want a good, relationship between him and the Wasp, this one would be my go-to right off the bat. Ant-Man Volume 2, which is another 1 through 5. This is with his daughter Cassie, and you can see their relationship grow throughout that whole series. We've talked about her before and how she's a pivotal part of his life. And this story here shows that as well, especially when your back's up against the wall for someone you care about. And lastly, all new Guardians of the Galaxy number 12, where Ant-Man Scott Lang joins the Guardians. Again, like I said earlier, they kind of put him on a team and hope for the best. And this is one where he actually, to me, fit in because he was trying to get away from Earth and everything, behind him.
Right.
So these 3 would be mine for those literally simplistic reasons on where to start.
That's good.
Good choices.
Yeah.
And shout out to you, Jamie. You always do an excellent job on those cards and title cards.
Yes.
And cover stuff.
Very
Always
cool.
excellent job.
Always
thank you.
Yep. Agreed.
Thank you guys. But, like we always talk about within those pages, there's great writers, great artists that go into and put their time and detail into everything that they do. So what we're going to do is name some of our favorite writer-artist combos. And that's who we think fits this character perfectly when drawing or writing them. So, Dan, why don't you take it away?
For writer, I'm going to choose Matt Fraction. He's the one that wrote him in the FF series. Like I said, when I was given that as a recommended reading, I'm guessing that's who's out there. I like the way that he showed that the way he wrote him is he showed how vulnerable he was and how hard he was dealing with the death of his daughter and him balancing like wanting revenge on Dr. Doom and also like I have to do what's best for all of these other children that are now under my care. Him being the team leader, but not really being sure of himself, him, using his science skills, knowing like, all right, I'm not as smart as these other guys, but still, he still found a way to get everything done. I think it showed him best as a well-rounded character. And then that's also the series where I said it before, where he's the one that discovers like the true kind of unlocks the true power or the true potential of the Pym particles in a way that no one else ever had. So I'm going to go with him for my writer, and then for my artist, I'm going to go with Andrea DeVito. She drew him when they did the Ant-Man and Wasp Living Legends one shot, and it's just the artwork in it is fantastic. So those are the two I'm going to go with. What about you, Sal? I think you might.
Yeah, you're up there right now, just like Jesus.
I know. So yeah, for best writer, I had Matt Fraction as well, especially for the FF run that he did there, for everything that you just said, 100%. So moving on, we're going to go to, for my artist, is Mike Allard, because Mike Allard, I think, drew him really well. He also did the FF series as well, the drawing of it, if I remember right. So yeah, everything about that fit perfectly for me. So the only honorable mention I have is Ramon Rosanas.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget which part he did.
It was the Astonishing Ant-Man.
Yeah, Astonishing Ant-Man. There it is. Mm-hmm. So that's the only honorable mention I have. What about you, Kevin? What do you got?
My writer is Nick Spencer. Love his take on the character. It's very inherent feel for who he is as a person. I thought it was really well written. And my artist is Mark Brooks. And the reason that I chose Mark Brooks is he always drew and portrayed the helmet as shiny. He was always really good at reflecting the scene around him being reflected in his helmet. I thought that was just a really cool little touch that he always added to the character. I thought that was awesome. How about you, Jamie?
Yeah. So for my writer, I had Mark Waid. With everything current, I don't know why, but Mark Waid has his resurgence right now. And it's been phenomenal to see, even taking Ant-Man to a new level, which everyone was talking about for a quick minute there. But for my artist, I'm actually stealing Sal's honorable mention, and I'm going with Raymond Rosanas.
Raymond?
Ramon.
Ramon. Raymond? Ramon? I think you're
either
right.
way. Raymond. Tomato. Raymond, Ramon, I apologize. Either way for butchering your name, but that's what happens on these shows. We tend to do that. I think that was the best Ant-Man I've seen. So that's what I gravitate towards.
Right on.
In those regards.
Very cool.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I think we basically covered everything Ant-Man, Scott Lang related today.
I have a question. Just throwing that out there. If it was up to you and you were the writer, what would you do with the character of Scott Lang for the next series if it was given to you?
For me, I would take some of the stuff that Nick Spencer did, where he, had him taking some of these supervillains and kind of hiring them onto his, security business to kind of redeem them the way that he was redeemed. I would do something like that. I would just make it a little less goofy and a little more, I'd kind of mix that and what Fraction did with him in FF. Because I mean, in the FF series, he would still crack jokes and stuff too, but he wasn't as goofy of a character. So if it was me, I'd probably combine those two takes on him. What about you, Kev? What would you do with him?
Me, I would think it would be really fun to have him take over the Iron Man role and armor for a period of time. I think that would be really interesting to see him be Iron Man for a 12-issue run or something. I think that would be a really interesting take to see what they would do with it.
The Iron Ants.
How about you, Saul? What's that?
Iron Ants.
Iron Ants.
Honestly, you know what I would do? I think I would go a little bit like Dan's route, but with the younger generation of heroes, where he's putting them together, teaching them, how to fight, what to do, how to outthink your opponent, that type of thing, and using everything to your advantage. So I think I would go that route.
Young Avengers.
What's that?
It could be Young Avengers.
Yeah, like there. The young ants. You can call them the young ants. I don't care. But I mean, I want to fit because I like that father-daughter dynamic, and I would fit that in there somehow. where she's probably like the team lead, and he's like,
Mm.
the Professor X of the
The
team.
headmaster.
Kind of like
Headmaster Wang.
so kind of like how Red Tornado was for Young Justice when they first formed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It could be
How about
like
you, Joe?
18th iteration of New Warriors.
Yeah.
No, I would give him his own solo series and not make it a 5 to 12 issue thing. I would
Mhm.
actually have him. I would create a new villain that is his villain only, and actually give him a purpose again, where he doesn't have to call or rely on anybody. It's just him.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. Yep. He needs that, I think, as a character to move forward. I agree.
Mhm.
His rogue gallery is pretty light.
Yeah.
There's Eric O'Grady and
Would you say his
that's it.
Would you say his rogues gallery is small?
It's like it's like Aaron Cross.
Subatomic.
Yeah.
Minuscule.
But guys, with
Right
that
on.
being said, this was a great show. Like I said, covered everything. As always, I am your host, Jamie J Dub. With me, as always, we have the Slab Guy / Fairy Sale Row.
And you guys can find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner and under Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. Thank you, Dan, for that. And Dan, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. Just search hashtag Dan Kelly Art. I post a few times a week, art and music. And come check it out. Like, share, help me get some more followers. And just remember, for any of these things, for my page, for Sal, for Comic Character of the Day, for Codex, for all of it, for you, it's just a simple click to save, to follow, or to like. That's all it is, and it's just one simple click for you. But for us, like, it means so much, and it helps us so much to just click that follow button or that subscribe button. And so do it for all of this, because it makes all the work we put in worth it.
Absolutely. Right on.
And so this guy over here has got something going on.
Right. Hey, guys, I created a group over on Facebook called Comic Character of the Day, where we post a different character, a different question of the day, anything cover, and anything news related. And we are at 485 viewers. We're trying to get to the 500 threshold, and when we do, we're going to do a free giveaway from really cool comic book swag, and we'd love to have you come and check it out. And I personally would be very appreciative if you would come and let me know what you think of the group, whether or not you like it, whether it sucks, what we could do better. I'm always open for constructive criticism, and I'd love to see you over there and check it out. And with that, Jamie, take us on home, my brother.
Yeah, guys, you guys know what I'm about to say. Go check out the codexstation.com, your one-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet the team, let us know what you like, don't like. All of our socials are listed on there, so there's no reason for you to miss out on any of the content we put out for you, because we put out different content on different areas. So always be on the lookout for that. And like Dan says, even hitting that button, it might be a click for you, but it means everything in the world to us to help us grow, reach these platforms that we want to, hit these goals that we're trying to achieve, and so much more. So like, share, subscribe, and follow if you can. Guys, again, please, if you guys have the opportunity, go check out Heroscornercomics. Great group of people. Always a good time. We had Louis on an After Dark. Great guy. And they do such a great job, and I think they deserve the shout out on that aspect. And another shout out that we want to make sure that we're throwing out there right now is our new sponsor / partner, W Energy. Guys, go check them out as well. All clean, no jitters, no BS. Guys, go check out W Energy and use the code word CODEX. That's CODE-X. And check out and get 10%. I'm gonna get better at this, I swear.
Next will be when we get the fish deal.
Don't worry, tomorrow when I'm on my 4th show this week, I'm gonna figure it out. So go check them out. Get some cool stuff. They got a bunch of stuff on pre-order. They got a couple flavors out right now. We all ordered ours. We can't wait to try it. show it off, let you know what we think.
Yep.
So definitely do that. And lastly, guys, I know times are tough out there for a lot of people, whether that's emotionally, physically, financially, whatever, your difficulty is. I just want to say that always be kind to somebody, because you never know
Yes.
what they're going through at that time. Even making someone smile can change the course of their day or life. So just remember,
Yep.
always be kind. And we will see all of you in the next year.